If you want to dominate your save in Football Manager, this video is for you, because today I'm going to be picking out some players that I think in-game are basically cheat codes. Now in the past we've looked at meta players in Football Manager, people that do well in the in-game engine, but what I'm focusing on today is players that I am calling cheat codes, because if you sign them within a season without even playing a single game with them, you can usually sell them for 5-10 times the amount, get yourself way more money than you had before, and that can sometimes take your save in a whole new direction. It might save you a couple of seasons because of the amount of money that you'll make from just one of these transfers, and I think all 10 are very good players as well. Now don't worry, this isn't one of my 10 because he is already super well known, but to give you an example of what I mean, someone like Sier House of Naipan in Football Manager is a player that because of the club he's at, you can pretty much always sign him for a cheap fee of £5 million or under, sometimes way less than that, but pretty much every time you sign him, his valuation will jump to 60-70 million, and he'll be a £100 million player in literally one season sometimes. It's that quick, and they're the kind of players we're going to focus on today. Those players that have really low values compared to their actual ability, you can walk in, pick them up, and then sell them on for a huge profit in next to no time, completely changing the course of your save. If you do go on to enjoy the video, smash the like button, and let me know down below the most money you've ever made on a sale. That's what I want to know today. Who was it? How much did you sell them for? And without further ado, let's get into the first player. And the first player that we're looking at is the American fullback 20-year-old Joe Scally, who you can find at Borussia Mönchengladbach, and the American international is an absolute bargain and certainly fits the cheat code bill. Now just to let you know, in this video we will be focusing on Wonderkids like this, but there are a few players that are 21 which technically can't be classed as Wonderkids anymore, but still you'll see exactly why I've picked them in this video. But Scally is still 20 years of age when you start your save, playing for a good team in the Bundesliga in Mönchengladbach, yet somehow is available for 220k to 2.2 mil, even though he's got ages left on his contract. So I don't know why that is, but you might pay 2.2 mil, you could probably meet in the middle and get him for about £1 million for a fullback who's got good attributes in every single area you'd need. He's versatile as well, can play anywhere, but realistically he's an attacking minded right back, potentially even right wing back if you'd want to play him there, who fits the game perfectly this year for a bargain price. And you can see exactly what I mean. Not only are you getting a great player here, but he is a cheat code. If you buy him for £1 million, even without doing anything, you could not touch him for a whole season. He'll be worth 10 million, he'll be worth 20 million. Play him a little bit and you might have a 40-50 million pound fullback on your hands, because players in those positions are often worth far more. But this is what I mean by these kind of players. A lot of them are cheap because of the clubs they're at. I don't understand why Scally is so cheap at Mönchengladbach, and it's not like he's only just signed either. He's been there for a few years, but get yourself in there, sign him for £1 million. You've got a great fullback you can either use or sell for a massive profit in no time. Speaking of Americans, let's jump to another one who falls in a similar category where he is just so undervalued but really shouldn't be for what you're getting. It's Gianluca Busio of Venezia. He's an American international, 21-year-old, again one of them that does slightly breach the bracket of actually being a wonder kid in FM, but you know exactly what I mean by a player like this. He's still young, he's still got big potential, and you can pick him up here for 2 million, 2.5 million maybe at a push. He's wanted by Toronto in this save, so you might have to be quick. Depending on whether you have any kind of updates on your save, you'll find Venezia in either Serie A or Serie B. Currently with updated databases here, I have him in Serie B, but either way, I mean, he's an absolute bargain. He's a player that could definitely play at a higher level than this, maybe high-level Championship, low-level Premier League even, and if he reaches his potential, can actually be a top 6 Premier League level midfielder, in my opinion. He's very well-rounded, but at the end of the day, he fits the cheat code category for nothing to do with his actual attributes, but purely on the fact that he is so cheap, and when you sign him, his valuation goes through the roof. If you played this guy for 10 games, you'll suddenly see him go from the £2 million player that you bought to a £20 million player that you could sell on for a big profit. I mean, he is a no-brainer signing. For £5 million, you can pick up him and Scally, American internationals, big potential, who can go on to make you a huge amount of money if you sell them. Moving on to a forward next though, and this striker is one of my favourites in all of Football Manager history, to be honest. Azison of Real Zaragoza, a 21-year-old Spanish striker who actually, if you have updated databases on in terms of transfers, you will find at Como, but either way, wherever he is available for a dirt cheap fee. In this case, you can get him for £3 million, and he is just the perfect player. Just one, because he's a bargain in terms of what you get an attribute-wise, with amazing physical attributes that really suit the match engine this year: strength, pace, and aerial ability. If you don't know, that kind of player in FM will do wonders, combined with the fact he has potential to go way higher, and you've got a no-brainer signing anyway, but purely based on the fact that this player can be picked up for 2 or 3 mil and can score goals at a very high level instantly, I think he's certainly worth it. I did a Como rebuild the other day, and he was scoring in Serie A from minute 1 at this kind of level. So this is a Serie A level striker, a La Liga level striker in my opinion as well, that you can pick up from Zaragoza for a really small fee and just watch him do wonders for you and sell him on for a massive amount in no time. Now I did just mention a Como rebuild, and if you want to watch that, you can find it on my channel, which you can either go into the description and find, or if you just search Jake Cooper here on YouTube, you'll find it. Over there I do weekly rebuilds. And actually, the majority of the players I'm talking about today, I have used in them rebuilds, so I know for a fact you can sell these guys for mega money in your saves. But let's get back to player number 4. And I won't spend too long on him because he is the most well-known player in this list, but if you're talking about guaranteed profit in Football Manager, Martin Vitic is the one you want. Sparta Prague over in the Czech divisions are holding on to a 20-year-old Czech centre-back who is good with the ball at his feet, really good physically, 6'4", and a dominant aerial presence, available for about 6 million quid. Now, Sparta Prague are already a good team, but in this save he's wanted by Liverpool and PSG, so there's very little chance you're actually able to sign him. But if you can get your hands on him, this £6 million centre-back will be worth 30 million in a season, guaranteed. Whether you're a top 6 Premier League team not using him, or, you know, a relegation level team in the Prem trying to develop him a little bit, either way, he'll be worth that much. He is an elite level centre-back, one of the best in the game. In fact, I suggest you don't sell him, but if you do, you're going to make mega money on this kid. A player that I believe has left this club in real life is up next in the form of Pequi, I don't know exactly how you pronounce it, but he's a Spanish 20-year-old playing for Racing de Santander in the second tier of Spanish football, and I think now might have moved to Barcelona in real life. I definitely saw someone with that name at Barca, so I assume it was this kid, but either way, if not, wherever he is in your save, try and sign him, especially if in your save he is sitting at Racing de Santander, because you're going to pay 2.5 million quid, maybe pushing 3 million if you really wanted to raise the stakes a little bit, I guess. But this 5'6" attacking midfielder is already a creative force of the highest level. 15 passing, 14 technique, really good technically, mentally and physically, with good player traits as well. This kid will perform well in the match engine, but I mean, just for the price alone, you can see why I'm picking him. The 20-year-old will get better with you, and even if he doesn't, he'll make you a profit anyway. This is a probably £10 million player off the bat, and I think with no real effort, you could easily raise this guy to be a 30, 40 million pound player. And the reason I say these guys are cheat codes is if you sign someone like this for, I don't know, let's say a championship team in England, and you do sell them for that mega money, that gives you huge money to improve your team and probably jumps your save forward 3 or 4 years sometimes with the right kind of deal. So they really can be like cheat codes. It's just no-brainers, put the money in and make a bunch of money after a little bit of time with no development, nothing at all. Pequi, however you pronounce his name, nobody knows. He's a great option. One that I think a lot of people won't have come across though is this Mexican 20-year-old at Club Leon by the name of Fidel. Now I think he has moved in real life. If you have updated transfers on, he might be, I think he's still in Mexican divisions, but was it Pachuca or someone like that? He had moved to somewhere else in Mexico, maybe Monterrey actually. Whatever it is, whatever club you find him at, Ambriz is a great option for a little bit more than some of the other players we've looked at, maybe 7 million. You can usually get him for under 7.5 million, and again, he's someone that's just going to be worth way more than that in no time. Now, the profit levels won't be worth as much with a player like him, because obviously you're paying more for him, but actually, I think he has a higher ceiling than most, and that's why someone like PSG would be interested in him, purely because of those technical attributes. He is great on the ball, and in fact, if you played him as a Mazzala on the attack duty, even though it is suggested that he can play defensive midfield, I think you'll get some great results out of this kid in an attacking sense. I mean, he can finish, he's got good first touch and dribbling, passing, the technique is there as well. He's a hard worker, he's good physically, and he is a great option that could easily become a £50 million player in a season or two, playing at a high level. There's a reason clubs like PSG want players like this. They're no-brainer decisions. They make them a bunch of money. Either that, or they just want to hoard Wonderkids, as PSG always do. But one player that often doesn't get signed at all, and sometimes is even available as a free agent after a couple of years, is Francho of Zaragoza, who already have a player that we've looked at today in Ivan Azison, but 20-year-old Francho is an absolutely phenomenal centre-mid option and one of my favourites in this year's game. He, as a box-to-box midfielder for me, is one of the best you can get, and to sign him for about 2 or 3 million really is one of those no-brainer deals. He is such a hard worker, stamina, natural fitness, off the ball work and work rate, can put in a tackle, can pass, doesn't do anything exceptionally well in a technical sense, but actually has everything he'd need to be an unbelievable player in the centre of the park, running up and down, helping your team out. Probably one of my favourites in this video for only 2 or 3 million. There have been saves before where I've sold this guy for close to 100 mil without actually paying a fee, because like I say, I've picked him up on a free transfer quite often after a couple of years at Zaragoza. When he's grown a little bit, I then bring him in after he leaves them at the end of his deal, and then watch him grow into one of the world's best midfielders. I've seen him be a Spanish international, win international trophies with Spain as a regular starter alongside the likes of Rodri. So it tells you how good Francho can be in Football Manager. He's the perfect workhorse player in any team. Whether you want to use him or sell him for a profit, I think he would be a great option for your midfield. But a player that's a cheat code in both the financial sense but also on the pitch this time is Sier, who is a 21-year-old Norwegian midfielder who plays for Sassuolo on loan currently in real life at Rosenborg, I believe, but he is someone that in-game will just tear defenders' ankles apart, really, with the fact that he has exactly what works in this year's match engine, which is speed, 15 pace, acceleration, and agility. This kid is going to be a nightmare for any fullback. I've already kind of said it in this video, but if you don't already know, the physical attributes in FM tend to trump everything else. He could have, 18 finishing, whatever it might be, but be slow, or he can be quick and have 7 finishing. I actually guarantee you he'll do better with the fact that he's quick than actually having the attributes that you assume would help a player of this kind of position. In game, if you've got someone that's fast, it really does make all the difference. 15s, 16s in those areas is great, and at 21 he'll often go to 17 and 18 in some of these areas as he still has some room to grow. He can play either wing, good on both feet, available for 2 million, and really is the kind of player that if you sign, you're going to get great joy out of. It's not like he can only run either. I mean, he is a great dribbler, he's got really good flair, technique, passing ability, and first touch. Maybe work on his crossing or his finishing if you want to use him permanently, but actually, sign this kid, loan him out, and you'll probably make 20 million in a season without him even playing a game for your club. One of my favourites for this cheat code method of just bringing them in and selling them without ever having really done much is Vicente Pazaro, though. He is one that is just subject to the club that he's at that makes him worthwhile. He plays for Colo Colo out in the Chilean divisions, and for that reason, he's never going to be a 20-30 million pound player over there. Even if he develops loads in your save, he isn't in a kind of club where he's going to be charged a massive fee. You'll nearly always be able to sign him for £5 million or less, and you get a very good midfield option who, again, I have seen personally many a time go on to be a 30-40 million pound player without even doing anything special. He doesn't suddenly become really good. I mean, he can, he's got the potential, but even if he doesn't, even if he just kind of stays like this and doesn't really do much for you, you'll still make huge money on him. It's just the way of the world with these kind of players, that because of the club he's at, he's valued at way lower than he should be, and you can get yourself a bargain if you go and sign him. And finally, we move on to my last player in this video. It's Hugo Satello, who for some reason his face is missing in game. I don't know where that's gone in the face pack that I'm using, but he's a 19-year-old at Celta Vigo who you can sign for about 5 million. And I mean, honestly, I wouldn't even sell this guy because he is so good in game. In fact, if you look at his attributes, there's literally no weakness. He is so well rounded. Is he stand out at one particular thing? Not really. But in terms of just doing everything well, this guy is the one. I mean, he has got great player traits. Again, another one that I have seen become a Spanish international in my saves. 5 million quid will net you this brilliant 19-year-old midfielder with huge potential if you do keep him, but if you do sell him in no time, the attributes he's got, being 19, if he just sits there and trains with you, maybe plays the odd game, he'll be 20, 21, looking way better than this, a few 15s, 16s around the place in terms of his attributes, and he'll be worth way more than the 5 million that you paid for him. In fact, I remember one save where I didn't sign him, but I think it was Real Madrid or Barcelona did, and he ended up being worth well over 100 million pounds, which just tells you how much money you can make in the right situations with these players. So there you go, there's 10 cheat code players for your FM saves that you can sign and instantly sell for huge profits. Obviously, you'll have to wait for the first transfer window, you can't sell him as soon as you signed him, but you get the idea. Buy these guys and you completely change the course of your save. And if you know any other players that can do that kind of thing, let us know in the comments down below. I focused on Wonderkids here, maybe we'll do one with players over the age of 21 that you can pick up and instantly sell for massive profits. But either way, thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.